good day everyone. So our topic for today, it's all about the chapter 5, which is the sources of authority. So here is the coverage of chapter 5. We have the lesson 1, the reasoning. Okay, so we will tackle about on how we reason out something based on our unethical doings or ethical doings. Okay, it is based, we explain something or we give reasons based on our own religion or in our own culture. Okay, so we have the lesson 3, the authority of one's religion. Lesson 4, the authority of one's culture. I will going to elaborate something more and knowledgeable about these 3 concepts. Okay, so first we have the lesson 1, the reasoning. We all know that reasoning is the generation or evaluation of claims in relation to their supporting arguments and evidences. It is on how you explain, or it's on how you justify, okay, your arguments. Okay, so it is your ability to reason to reason out. It is more on the fundamental impact of one's ability to learn from new information and experiences, because reasoning skills, it determines how people comprehend, it determines how people evaluate and accept claims and arguments. Okay? So we have these ethics and feelings. Okay? So many times there is a conflict between what we naturally feel and what is considered to be ethical. So our subconscious reaction to a news event might be hatred, it might be jealousy, or the negative feelings. Okay, so but we might not be able to morally argue why we feel that way. So I guess it is the human race developed those subconscious reactions as an evolutionary mechanism to survive. Okay, so just like for an example, our ancestors wouldn't have been able to find and obtain food if they hadn't fought for it. Okay, so alam natin ang mga pagpatay isang malaking makasalanan, or should I say, unethical ang pagpatay. Pero kung hindi ka makikipaglaban noon, you will not survive. Okay, so arguing about ethics would have meant that you will have to stay hungry and die. Okay, so ethics and feelings are very contradicting to each other. What ethics wants to inculcate for us is doing right and avoid wrong, while feelings is you are doing those wrong because it could be beneficial to your part. Okay? So the problem is most of our feelings in today's world are unethical. It is politically incorrect or even outright harmful. So it takes a great deal of effort to retrospect and self-analyze our feelings to judge whether they are ethical or not. Okay, so ethics are not the same as our feelings. Bakit ko kaya sinabi yun? So our feelings are not always accurate indicators about a particular action being unethical. Okay, so for just an example, taking a long lunch or spending too much personal time on the internet while at work. So it's very unethical to the part of the company that during your work hour, you are making your personal time. Di ba hindi mo ginagawa yung responsibilities mo as employer? Okay, just like for an example, for instance, sa squatters area. Okay? We all know that those living in the squatters or unsettled area, di ba? Na kung saan ang mga ilan sa mga gobyerno ay pinapaalis sila dahil hindi yun legal na pagtitirhan. Okay, so it's very heartful moment sa part natin na makita natin yung mga kababayan or yung mga kasama natin na napapaalis sila at wala silang matitirhan kundi sa kalye. Isn't it? So, ethics are not the same as our feelings. Okay, just like for example, pagnanakaw para sa pamilya. Okay? So nagnakaw ka dahil wala ka ng ibang paraan, wala ka ng ibang naisip na paraan, kundi yun lamang para makatulong or para mas lalong mabigyan ng pagkain ng iyong pamilya dahil nagugutom na sila. Okay? So sinabi ng ethics na bawal magnakaw. Those actions are not appropriate to this world. But our feelings, okay, yung feelings natin na it's okay because dun sa pagnakaw niya is meron siyang matutulungan, isn't it? So ethics are not the same as our feelings. Just like for example, paglabag sa mga batas. Okay, so we all develop defense mechanisms to protect ourselves. So we may not feel badly about the particular unethical act, or some people may actually feel good about behaving unethically. So why ethics are important? Okay, so ethics are important because they provide structure, stabilizing for society. They help us to understand what is good and bad. Okay, so these help us to choose between right and wrong actions. So without ethics, our actions would be random and aimless, with no way to work toward a goal, or because there would be no way to pick between limitless number of goals. Okay, so ethics is not based on whether we feel something is right or wrong. Okay, sometimes our feelings signal us that we are facing an ethical dilemma and we want to do the right thing. But feelings also may prevent us from behaving ethically, okay, perhaps out of fear or conflicting desires. Okay, so just para mas lalo nyo maintindihan, feeling is differ from feelings. Okay, if both were treated as nouns, then feeling denotes sensation, yung 5 senses natin. So while feelings, it denotes to our emotions. Okay, so here are the example of ethics versus feeling. Okay, so I want you to give your insights regarding on this. We have this groupism, okay? So but before that, I will just give you what the natural feeling is, what is the reasoning, and how ethical viewpoint gives their perspective. Okay, so first, when we say natural or real feelings, these are the feelings that start in our senses, our natural responses to the real world. Okay, so when we notice real anger or sadness or scare, we notice that something is wrong in our lives. Okay, so we notice real joy or excitement. We notice that something is right in our lives. Okay, so natural feelings are always trustable. Learn what they are saying to you, use them well. Okay, so when I say ang emotions and feelings naman are natural part of your humanity. Okay, so they are powerful signals that help you know how you're doing at this moment or what is your need. Okay, so however, emotions and feelings are not isolated truths in themselves. They are constantly in contrast with other aspects of your human nature. Okay, so like needs and longings, or our instincts, our thoughts and inspirations. Okay, so every aspect of your humanity, it contains our own truth and wisdom. Okay, so ang natural feeling is, it is natural. Kung anong nararamdaman mo, kung anong yung nafe-feel mo sa bagay or sa thing or sa situation na yun. Your reason is, what would be your reasons? Bakit yun ang nasabi mo? Okay? It is subjective. It's either subjective or objective reasons. Okay? So, ang ethical viewpoint naman, it's always seek for the goodness. Okay? It attach the laws, okay, yung mga rules, and also the protocols, mga ganyan, and come up with the punishment. So that would be the ethical viewpoint. Okay, so ethical viewpoints, it is an action or set of actions. It is generally deemed good or right if it is maximize happiness or pleasure throughout the society. Okay, so the right course of an action from an ethical point of view would be to choose the policy that would produce the greatest amount of utility or usefulness. So it's easy to give into our feelings. Okay, just like for an example, your natural feeling about the school scenario. Okay, what would be your natural feeling about the school scenario? Okay, so sometimes it is quite scary, okay, excitement, joy, halo-halo. Okay, pero ang natural feeling mo is to compete with the other students to be a better student. Okay, that would be your natural feeling. But your reasons is bakit ka nakikipag-compete is to be a better person, okay, to have a brighter future, okay, para mas matuwa sila mama mo, okay, para mas lalong madagdagan ng allowance mo, or anything else. Okay, so your ethical viewpoint, ang gusto sabihin ng ethical viewpoint, it is not right to compete. Just enroll, just enjoy the education, okay, just be knowledgeable enough, okay. Kasi ang pagkikipag-compete is not quite good to the behavior of the students. Okay? Kapag nakikipag-compete ka na, is nape-pressure yung bata. Okay? Kapag once the student is fail or nakaranas na siya ng failure, may stress yan, made-depress. Okay? That's why it is not advisable to compete. Okay? So, in here, sa groupism, the natural feeling is, I am a part of a group. I am supposed to help this group become better. I also supposed to compete with other groups. Okay, so yung natural feeling mo is, parte ka dun sa grupo. Okay? Para mas lalong maging malago ang grupo ninyo, is kailangan nyo makipag-compete or kailangan nyo ipagtanggol ang sarili ninyong grupo. Okay, yun yung natural feeling. So yung reason nyo is being part of a group or herd made it easier for us ancestors to survive in the wild. So there were so many survival benefits that belonging to a group bro. Okay, so groupism kasi, when I say, nung mga time ng mga ancestors natin before, way back 3,500 BC, okay, yung mga Babylonian groups, mga ganyan, mga Sumerians group, mga ganyan. In order to survive, they need to fight. Okay, nakikipag-away sila. Okay, nakikipag-kalakalan sila sa mga ibang lugar, mga ganyan. Okay, so in order to survive, they are going to fight for their freedom, okay, para mas makakuha sila ng pagkain at matulungan sila. Okay, so that's their survival benefits. Okay, the ethical viewpoint is help the group, help other groups too. There is no compelling reasons to compete in today's times of people. Okay, so helping one another. Ang gustong sabihin ng ethical viewpoint is it's helping one another. Wag yung sinisiraan mo yung ibang tao para lang umangat ka. Wag gano'n. Yun ang gustong sabihin ng ethical viewpoint. In your choosing your career, okay? Your natural feeling is you wanted to be successful. Okay? Kaya gusto mo maging successful sa buhay. Your reasons is, gusto ko maging successful dahil gusto ko magkaroon ng mga maraming buhay, gusto ko magkaroon ng magandang bahay, okay? Gusto ko mabili lahat ng gusto ko. Okay? Pero ang gustong sabihin ng ethical viewpoint is do it in your own self. What I mean is gawin mo yun, wag kang mag-drag pababa ng ibang tao para lang umangat ka. Okay? So don't compare also yourself to other people. Okay? Don't pressure yourself to other people. Okay? So that's what natural feeling, reasoning, and ethical viewpoint wanted to give to us. Just like for an example, another example is joining politics. Okay? So ang natural feeling mo is, I want to help the people. That's why I need to win. Okay, gagawin ko lahat para lang manalo ako sa laban na ito. Okay, manalo sa election na ito. So your reason is, if I win, I need to help the people. Okay, you will have your personal interest. Okay, hindi yan namawala. Okay, so your ethical viewpoint is, iboboto ka ng tao, pero gawin mo ang responsibilidad mo at the same time your accountability as a good leader to your citizens. Okay? Okay, self-reflection as the following, answer the following as best as you can. Please comment your answers below and place the date of your accomplishment. Okay? Also with your name and course and your answers below. Okay, so in the overall aspect of your life as a student, son or daughter, and as a citizens of the country, in a scale of 1 to 3, and to what number represents your scale of being ethical? Have you ever been ethical? Or if not, what pushed you to do an ethical thing? Explain your answer briefly in 100 words. The authority of the law. Okay, so let me just ask you, what if the world had no laws? Okay, so if they didn't, our society could not operate properly. There will be no laws, rules, or regulations regarding to the environment, traffic, safety, okay, or repair or streets and roads, sidewalks wouldn't be shoveled and open to the public. Okay, so crimes will be committed and there will be no punishment or rehabilitation. Okay, so magkakagulo. There will always be chaos. Okay? So, the qualities, or one of the qualities of law shows equality. It shows equity. It shows justice and right of life. Okay, so law is defined as a rule of action or principle of conduct which directs things towards a definite goal. Okay, so law is seen around you, but laws should be obeyed based on the promulgations of the authorities. Okay, so what does equality and equity means? When I say equity, you are not helping the whole, but rather helping those less fortunate people. To help the needy one rather than those kaya naman ng mabuhay. Okay, so equality means fairness. There is always just in all aspects. Okay, so as I say that law is seen around you, but laws should be obeyed based on the promulgations of the authorities. Okay? So we have here, law is an ordinance. Okay, this means that law is not just a mere advice or counsel or suggestions, but rather an order, a command, a mandate, or imposing the legislator will on the citizens and binding them with moral necessity so that people have a peaceful and disciplined life. But who made laws? Sinong gumagawa ng mga law? Okay? So we have the three branches of government. We have the legislation branch, executive branch, and the judicial branch. Ang legislative branch is nahati sa dalawa. May upper house at saka lower house. Ang lower house ang siyang mag-i-initiate ng law, and the upper house should draft the law and then should undergo the several readings. Okay, so after that, after ng readings na yon, kapag aprobado na ng Kongreso, papasa na ngayon sa executive branch, wherein yung sa executive branch is andun na ang presidente, vice president, and the cabinets. And the president will sign whether this law is appropriate or pwede siya sa bansa natin. Pero if not, ibabalik ulit yun for ratification. Okay? So, kapag hindi napirmahan ng presidente yung bill na pinasa ng Congress sa President's House o sa President's Office, within 30 days is automatically yung bill na yun magiging law kahit walang pirma si President. Okay? Pagkatandaan nyo yun. So, law is an ordinance of reason. Okay? This means that the law is not an arbitrary with arbitrary whim, but an intelligent direction composed by the superior's will, but planned and formulated by right reason. Okay, so for a law to be reasonable, it must be a true law. Okay, a true law has the following essential qualities, namely just, honest, possible, useful, relatively permanent, okay, promulgated, and imposes due a sanction for disobedience. Okay, so law is an ordinance of reason because it must be a reasonable or based in the reasons and not merely in the will of the legislator. It is promulgated to that law and can be known. Okay, so it's not only on the personal interest for the legislators yung tagagawa ng law, but it benefits the humanity, the entire society or the entire community. Okay, wala naman na yung law na okay, gagawin ko tong law para kay Maria. Hindi. Okay? This law is for all. Okay, gagawin mo yung law to benefit all and to support or help them to be peaceful and disciplined one. Okay, so law is promulgated. When I say promulgated, it means to declare or announce publicly or proclaim, especially with regard to laws or regulations, to put into force or affect government's definitions. Okay, so this means that for a law to be useful and obeyed, it must be made known to those who are subjected to it. Okay, wala naman yung law na okay na ipasa na tong law pero walang nakakaalam. Okay? It should be transparent to the people. I-disclose dapat sa mga Pilipino, sa mga tao or sa mga citizens. Okay, so law is promulgated for the common good. Okay, this means that the end or the purpose of this law, as we cited earlier, is the common good. Okay, it is for the welfare of the community as a whole, or not for the benefit of individuals as such. Okay, so law must come from one who has charge or care of community or society. This means that one be this human person or as a king or a monarch or a group of human persons who is tasked to make laws. Okay, so it should be authorized yung gagawa ng law, hindi na lang yung basta-basta. But sometimes law is seen in the house. Okay, so sino yung may authority sa bahay? We have our parents. Okay? We have our younger brother or sisters to assist us or to discipline us. Okay? Hindi yung basta-basta ka na lang gagawa ng law na hindi ka naman otorisado. Okay? So, that is the authority of law as cited by Saint Thomas Aquinas.